I instantly got a 10-0 to begin new season with this team, and that's mainly because of the crazy double dark poison backline that I'm using. Blastoise up in front was an amazing asset for my team, and I know that it's still pretty early in this season to call a flex on the 10-0, but trust me when I say this, my battles were mostly intense. So over here today we're gonna have only the worst lead so that you can understand how bad a bad lead can be for you, but at the same time how you can manipulate that bad lead towards your advantage and eventually win any battle out there. So we're starting off with a Ferrothorn, and right after we got Shadow Drapion in action even up against this Poliwrath. We managed to get the shield out of play, which is pretty great, and now it's all up to Skuntank on Shadow mode because this is a Shadow backline to emerge victorious against whatever remains. Of course we know that Ferrothorn will return into the game. We lack at that flamethrower that we used to have, but to be fair we can still count on our Blastoise with the shield up to destroy down our opponent. All we need to do here is to go ahead and do that Skull Buzz to emerge victorious, but my opponent here has the Mud Shot version alongside Power Punch. So you know what, another one can easily hit us, while I will just go ahead and block the next one since I'm getting pretty close to the Skull Buzz, but no next one will emerge only after I hit them with the Skull Buzz, and of course this means that we can get a pretty cool victory for us. Even if they had counter, even if they had Scald, we would still win because of how good Blastoise can be in some crazy even battles. Into the next battle now with another bad lead, this time with a Venusaur on Shadow mode. Not only that, but Shadow Drapion on the Switch is something that you do not see every day nowadays in Great League, and I'm super excited for it because we can two-shot them down. Actually I was about to say one-shot them, but this makes no sense, and now all we need to do here is to block the next move so that Venusaur will be obliged in using a shield in the process. I also got a feeling that we can get to that crunch, but game lagged over there as you saw, so yeah, that was kinda of a big mess up if you ask me, and now we're kinda forced to take a double move from that Pokemon. Now Gligar emerges into the game since they want to protect their Venusaur for my Blastoise. I guess that makes a lot of sense, but at the same time I want to get to my Hydro Cannon, not gonna charge it up anymore because I want them to survive with a little bit of HP. Even with an Ice though, Shadow Gligar could faint, so that was kinda risky. Anyways, the battle is definitely not over yet, and I know that they have one Frenzy Plant worth of energy, but at the same time they're getting severely low on the HP levels. So by blocking here, we managed to get the victory with Shadow Skuntank as our closer. Another bad lead, this time with Serperior up in front. You know what, on the Switch Lantern emerges, and even after the debuff, Lantern can still do kinda good on the meta, and especially when the buff was not implemented at the time. So we were using the standard pre-move updates for this video, and of course we go down now to that serve. You know what, this is still gonna be looking kinda good for us because we have the shield advantage and we can use the shields wisely on our Skuntank. However, I mess up here and we end up blocking twice their moves. Now all of a sudden a Regirock with Rock Throw emerges into the battle, but hopefully we have those Trailblazes. Not only we can vamp up our attack stat, but also we can deal some pretty nice super effective damage. Of course, so now that they bring their Serperior into the game, I got a feeling that perhaps we might be in a pickle. My opponent decides to block my move, which is a pretty good block, but at the same time they throw their Leaf Tornado. So over here now I'm coming into the game with my Skuntank in a weird effort to completely farm down. We can absolutely do this, and right after we got another Trailblaze to grab the victory against a very skillful trainer. So they mess up with the Leaf Tornado, I know, but still the rest of the battle was pretty challenging. Into the next battle now with the Goodra up in front, we got now Crunch on that Pokemon, and this is another bad lead for us. Not only the grass types but also those dragons might be kinda problematic for us. Once again, we cannot reach the Aqua Tail. That was kind of a big bummer. I was counting on that Aqua Tail because we can do some cheap damage and drop them at the point that one Hydro Cannon can finish them down, but it is what it is, and now we'll just keep going at it with our Blastoise. You know what, at this point I realized that they want to go for the Surf and then completely farm down, so why not switch out to the Skuntank, maintain that energy that we have farmed up for the endgame, because Hydro Cannon is a strong move and you never know when you are gonna need it. Not only that, but also we find a very good opportunity for us to completely destroy down this Lantern by vamping up our attack stat, and in doing so we can one-shot down now Goodra with a simple crunch after we use Trail Blaze. Another move is coming up, this time from our Skuntank to their Skarmory, dropping their defense as well, so here comes now Hydro Cannon to emerge victorious even against the Skarmory, and of course following up with a few water guns for Lantern. That was a crazy battle, and speaking of bad leads, this one over here is another bad one for us. Of course, if you do not want to block, because with blocking and by reaching at least one Skull Bass you might be on a very good spot. However, I decided to let those moves go through and I can still reach to the Skull Bass, but seeing that they want to switch, I will try to switch at the same time. I was expecting the switch, to be fair, and since now they got Annihilate, I can reach to my Crunch. So Crunch now is gonna do so much damage on that poor Annihilate, and most trainers will not expect your Aqua Tail. So over here we managed to go for the knockout over Annihilate with the Aqua Tail. So let's see now what they have at the back, and we're not gonna see their third Pokemon yet. So this means now that Crunch can do absolutely clutch damage here, and having now Blastoise with Hydro Cannon, and after the defense drop we managed to guarantee the knockout. One Water Gun later, down goes Mountain, and we got one more Hydro Cannon, this time for Medicham at the very end. Most of those Medichams are running Power Up Punch, but I do not want to risk it at all, even though I know that they have to throw this move. Now in this new season, a lot of Pokemon are gonna get reworked, but not many will impact the meta much, so the meta from the previous season is still gonna be kinda the same, but this team can absolutely emerge victorious against various threats, and of course Crunch here will grab the victory for us eventually. Into the next battle now, trainers, with Scrafty up in front. With Thunder Punch, this Pokemon can be a severe threat to us, especially up in front to our Blastoise, but I will take my chances because Thunder Punch was not implemented yet to the meta of Go Battling in total, so I guess that we're gonna be just fine over here. Even with Thunder Punch we could pull off a soft loss here, which means that the backline Pokemon can easily farm them down. Now that the Scrafty is out of the way, I'm just gonna switch out immediately to my Drapion because we got a double Dark Poison at the back, so eventually we need to switch out just in case. Here comes now my Aqua Tail, but my opponent will get there first, do their Hydro Cannon, and they can throw my Shield out of play. It doesn't matter because we can still get to the Aqua Tail to grab the Shield, and now 1 second later we can still get to another move, I guess. Yes, we can, to guarantee the knockout over that Feraligatr. To my surprise, they block here, which means that they will count a lot on their Feraligatr, so I'm just gonna respond to them with my Skuntank. By blocking here we can easily farm down, but we spend the Shield at a Pokemon that we were not expecting to use it at all, so here comes now Crunch on that poor Gligar. So Gligar with the dig on the 7th wing attack, and we managed to catch it on our Blastoise. That was a game changer for us because we were shieldless, and now we can still deliver the lethal blow with Shadow Skuntank and its Crunch. That was an amazing battle once again, so let's keep going into the final one against a weird lead, and that is the Air-slash version of Mandibuzz. You know what, I'm just gonna stay in here and go for as many of those Hydro Cannons that I can, but since I have reached the Skull Bass, I said to myself, why not go for it? Perhaps they're not gonna expect it, and they did. Of course, just keep in mind that Blastoise can also learn the move of Ice Beam, so some opponents might actually want to block Ice Beam and not Skull Bass, so yeah, there goes that. Anyways, they're just gonna farm it down, which is not a very very good option for me, but still Mandibuzz is kinda garbage offensively, so we can survive the following charge attacks with ease even on our Shadow Glassy backline. So I'm just gonna completely farm down here with the Poison Sting, surviving with a minimal amount of HP. They're having Medicham coming into the game, and since I can survive, I will not throw another move, just gonna switch out to my Skartank and see how they will respond. So here comes now the shield on what I was hoping to be a Power Up Punch, but instead they got Ice Punch, almost one-shotting them down with a Shadow Crunch, and now all that remains at the very end is Carbink. The battle is definitely not over yet, they can survive the move, but at the same time they get severely low. I know that Aqua Tail is coming up, it has to do clutch damage here, but it doesn't. They survive with 1 HP, and we lost the final battle for today's content. That is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching, for sticking around till the end with me. It really means a lot for my channel. Before you go though, leave a huge like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you all into the next one.